Welcome back, guys, to the LCK Spring 2019. We got caught a little bit unawares, but we're excited to get right back into the action because game number 2, see whether SKT can keep up the clean performance, see whether or not there's going to be Lee Sin bans, Galio bans, what Hanwha are actually going to do to try and attack what seemed pretty much insurmountable from SKT in the early game. There just didn't seem to be any options for Hanwha.
Yeah, I mean, Nocturne paranoid himself, I guess, because he misclicked onto Teddy. And in doing so, Galio was able to eventually reach into the fight. Everything got turned on its head. LeBlanc couldn't see that Clid was coming. He picked up the kill onto her really handily. And from there, the game just sort of snowballed away. Key was making a lot of key donations to SK Telecom for the remainder of the game.
Aptly named, but we are going to have a bit of a substitution here because obviously Lava is tilted off the planet. He's going to leave and Tempt is going to be making his way into the squad. So understandable stuff, and I actually really do like it because we saw what Tempt could actually do, and he was a large part of why Hanwha got such a clean 2-0. Well, I mean, clean is an interesting way of stating it, but they did get the 2-0 over Jin Air Green Wings, despite the bottom lane having some issues in game number 2. They were still able to get over the top.
Faker's hunched over in his seat. He's not sitting straight up. It reminds me of, like, Yoda. He's like, he's walking into the game on Galio. He's like, I will lead you all to the victory screen.
These are my picks from a patch gone by. Yep. Yeah, unfortunately, Faker, things have changed. No, that's not true. His Galio, still real clean, still does exactly what it says on the box. So we haven't removed the taunt functionality, and therefore Faker can still help Clid get first bloods because his Lee Sin, so damn good, you keep someone still for a little amount of time, they are going to die. That's just how it works.
And for the top lane dynamic, I mean, it was one of the key points of this match, and Thal versus Khan, I mean, it was a very lonely island.
I don't actually remember anything about the top lane being relevant at all.
I don't remember the lyrics to those songs either. So,
yeah, no.
You know,
so
we got.
Wait, really? You don't remember the lyrics? Like, I'm on a boat and stuff?
I don't know.
Oh, man.
Khan was on a bus. I know that much from last game.
Khan was special delivery, here's a win, and there we go. Wait, did that come with Key as well? Or was that part of the blue buff delivery system?
You ride a bus without a key, you know?
Hey, that's true. That's true. They got delivered the keys. But guys, here we are into game number 2. Hanwha Life Esports will be occupying the blue side this time around, and SKT on the red. So maybe a few more less targeted bans to come out of SKT, and so maybe Hanwha will have some more opportunities. As speaking of nerf champions, Aurelia going to be banned out of nowhere.
And Aurelia is very peculiar. She's another champion that is not really popping up all that much anymore. She can only be picked in very isolated situations, and so it's very surprising, but I guess if there is going to be an isolated situation, it would be for someone that is on the red team, so counterpick can be reserved for mid. And Lissandra and Cassiopeia banned away by SK Telecom, Lucian and Aurelia for Hanwha so far.
Yeah, Lucian ban on blue side is an interesting one, because normally we'd leave that one up and allow our bottom lane to grab it. I'm thinking that maybe Sangyun wants to take an awesome dude down there, maybe the Victor or the Vladimir. Is Akali going to be banned on the blue side as well? So look, I mean, question mark ping, I'm looking for it on my, my caster desk, but I can't find it. That's a weird choice. I mean, first pick Akali has been something that a lot of teams have been able to navigate around, but not going to happen this game. They've got a certain choice, and it might be the Urgot, as the Thresh is going to be banned away from Key.
I mean, I haven't seen something this questionable since Korea at Worlds, but those 3 bans are really bizarre when you are the blue team. You could have first picked Akali, could have first picked Lucian. I don't know what they're even trying to gun for with the first pick. Knowing them, it's going to be Aatrox or Galio.
Oh, God,
because
I hope not. Urgot
whatever makes the least sense.
Tal, just find the Urgot button. There we go.
He listened to you. He heard you.
Whew. Someone needed to tell him. No one was telling him on his own team. Okay, there we go.
No.
Oh, dear. Stay. Stay.
All right, well.
Okay, well, Aatrox is going to be locked in, and Ezreal is there as well. We'll see whether we're going to be taking the El Clasico of the Urgot versus Aatrox. Whether that's going to be mid or top is the question now. Flex picks abound. Ezreal locked in for Teddy is a no-brainer. That one I can get around, but if that Aatrox was instead Tahm Kench, that'd be really cool.
That'd be a much safer and more versatile pick that would allow them to see how Hanwha Life wanted to develop the rest of their draft.
Well, they want to do it by picking themselves up a Kai'Sa, and they can take the Tahm if they would like to, deny it from Marta, and also pick it for Key. and keep Sangyun as safe as possible on the bottom side of the map. So that would be the choice I would go for if I was drafting for them, but I am, of course, not. And they might go for a different priority pick here, potentially the jungle. And the Braum is considered instead of the Tahm Kench.
That's very peculiar to show it face up. So now SK Telecom here, they can just actually pick support because no junglers have really been hit, and that is what they end up doing. They take the Tahm Kench.
Feels like a no-brainer, right?
Yeah, it very, very simple face-up drafts so far. And now if you're SK Telecom, you try to pinch the jungler pool. I'm assuming there's no real reason to try to pinch mid when you already have the counter pick for it.
And they can go with a whole lot of different things here. I'm just trying to work out what pairs with this particular composition very well. And Zoe actually does come to mind as being an option here for SKT rather than
which is surprising
for Hanwha. So they are going to ban it away. Not going to see Tempt playing that champion. Lissandra already banned away from him.
Sad as it is, I mean, Zoe is considered one of the counters to Galio. And so maybe SK One Trick is getting ready for another Galio composition.
Galio and Aatrox on the same team. How are we feeling?
I'm taking a trip to Severance at the end of this cast. Severance, the name of the big hospital chain in Korea.
Yep, there we go. He needs to have his brain repaired.
Yep.
As Olaf going to be banned away here, so you mentioned pinching the jungle pool. We finally got there. On the side of SKT.
I can already feel it. I can just feel the big gargoyle.
He's gonna get banned. There we go. Thank
Saved.
goodness. Yeah, safe. Safe.
Faker looking. He's like, wait a minute. We didn't anticipate this far. Looking at other champions right now. Not quite sure what to make of it.
He's going through like the collection list. And
like
that's a Scion. Okay, that might mean that Faker's going to be taking the Aatrox to mid lane, but could also be flexed, of course. We know Scion just likes to be a sack of meat wherever he wants to go. But it means a lot of global pressure now with the Abyssal Voyage as well as the Choo Choo Train in the Unstoppable Onslaught.
I mean, this means that Elise or Sejuani is going to be coming out for SKT because apparently, despite being one of the most popular and powerful junglers in Korean solo queue right now, Karthus, no one picks him.
Nope.
And even though there's an enormous amount of physical damage on SK Telecom right now, and they need a heavy-hitting AP jungler, they have a self-sustaining bot lane, they have a self-sustaining mid lane on the Scion, who's a neutralizer. He doesn't allow anyone to really do anything to him. That's a perfect opportunity for Karthus. I'm going to keep talking about this until...
I know. Until someone picks it, for goodness sake, that isn't Spirit. As Tal going for the cannon. All right. Theoretically could be flex to mid, but I'm not assuming that that is going to be the case. And the cannon going to be able to abuse either of these matchups relatively effectively.
Karthus. No.
That means Clid will be taking the Aatrox into the jungle, and I like that more than being top lane.
Well, there's the Elise. Because we talked about how they need a heavy-hitting AP champion. There's very few options that are actually available in the jungle. Sejuani's there, but the enemy team already has a Braum. So, and it's also a little bit difficult to hit the Kai'Sa, so not the best AP champion. You're looking at maybe an option like Gragas, but he's not really getting picked that often lately, so Elise is a champion that is coming back, especially with the jungle experience nerfs. It can help aggressive junglers with the rubber banding, whose kits are extremely powerful at one item, and Elise is one of those champions. She only really needs one item to be effective because of how obnoxious her damage is at base, but also the cocoon.
Yeah, the cocoon is really the thing that makes the difference, as well as then shifting into spider form and being able to get out of situations with the repel. So I don't mind the pickup, and we saw Peanut have some success on the champion despite it being a little bit hit or miss. So SKT trying to deal with the fact that a lot of their composition is physical. Ezreal, of course, you can't ignore the fact that he does half magic damage, and that True Shot Barrage, if you don't have enough magic resist, will basically cut you in half in the later stages of the game. So SKT will round it out with the Elise, but didn't necessarily need it. But looking over Hanwha's side, this is about as front to back as a team comp you can get. In fact, is this almost exactly the same as Gen.G's team composition? Yeah.
Except this time, Fall is on the cannon.
Yep.
So that is how to say it in Korean. Fans need to be, you know. I might hit you guys
with a Trundle one trick.
Right. Might hit you guys with the Kassadin, the Aatrox, but at least I don't hit you with the Tuah.
Yeah.
All right.
But I mean, that is his name. So why would you say it, LS? Come on, that's ridiculous.
Hey, I said Ed.
You
Remember
did.
MVP Ed.
Oh, you did. Let's hear from the fans. Oh, yeah, the fan leader actually lost his voice halfway through that one. That was.
I think Hanwha won.
Almost. I feel like we're on the SKT side, so I feel like my ears are a little bit biased towards SKT, but it was definitely a bit of a Hanwha cheer.
That was very interesting.
Getting some back, getting some back.
One of the things I really have to say, I mean, I never actually took a trip to OGN, but the Spo studio never had this many people.
No.
This place is sick.
And it's also super packed.
I believe it holds 400?
It does.
It holds 400, and it's almost always full?
Yep.
And then there's more people outside sitting at the cafe, and they're just watching the game on their phones.
Yeah, and there's also, aren't there projectors? I mean, I've only ever been inside while things are on, so there's also projectors.
It's projectors. Reminds me of baseball games and stuff.
Yeah, it's super cool.
People used to watch them on, like, their portable televisions right outside the stadium, at least in New York. Sometimes I'd go to see the New York Yankees.
We do have mirrored runes from FLICKR and Tempt in the mid lane.
Both on Spellbook.
Yeah, and the Scion is going to be taken here by FLICKR as well. So not wanting to have the Scion punching bag on the top side for Tal to just smash around.
You know who was a good Spellbook user in mid lane?
Who?
Ornn. But then Riot took away his shield, and now he's useless.
Yeah,
so
it's a little bit sad, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's not a bad support.
No, but see, the thing that's so interesting about Ornn's support, right, is that logically there's no reason to be picking him now as opposed to when he had his shield, because his damage is unreliable because he can't actually utilize it. Without the shield, he's more vulnerable in lane, and just because he's a support, he doesn't end up hitting level 14 in most of the games. His influence in the game is felt way earlier than 14.
Yeah.
So why are you suddenly picking him in support? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's a bit weird. But in theory, getting free stuff.
Yes, if you get to 14, right? So, I mean, Jin Air versus Gen G, I mean, that should be a priority pick.
I mean, as it turns out, I think you could just, any Gen G series, just pick on support, you know? Pick on support, Viger, Scion, Nasus, let's go. Let's use the dirty S word over and over again as much as we can. That's what I'm saying. I went for the old Susan. Love Susan on the top side. As FLICKR does have the wave at a pretty safe spot right now. I don't know whether he actually spotted the Lee Sin, but now going to see him as the Q's going to hit a minion, and FLICKR taking actually a lot of damage. Bono takes a bit of a hit back. Clid can set himself up here, actually.
What?
No, going to put a ward down.
Wait, he could have just chunked him. Wait, what?
Be discovered, steals it away. Yeah, I thought that maybe...
That was really weird because Aatrox had priority, and he could just have chunked and deleted him and still accomplished getting the Scuttle Crab. So, very bizarre choice right there from Clid. Maybe thinking that he was on a ward?
Well, now he can chunk him and has the help of his good friend Blue Buff. Bono in so much trouble. The smite goes down. It's taken by Clid, though. And over the wall he goes. Not enough to get the repel. Oh, dear. That was so close. I mean, still net gain for Clid. Steals away the buff and gets everything else. But, man, that was so close to a first blood solo kill in the enemy jungle.
That would have been exactly what he needed. Just a little bit too slow on the pull. He could have flashed, but he was going for the pro play. Yeah. Which is, you know, when you're a pro gamer, you're this good at this game, and you're Clid. Normally, you do hit that repel 9 out of 10 times.
Exactly, and I felt like he was in range. It was, like, very, very close to being able to get it. There's Tempt and FLICKR trading blows. Scion is okay, but doesn't have any charges of this corrupting potion anymore. Charges the decimating smash, but thankfully Perch exists, so Tempt is going to be more than fine here in the mid lane. Just shotgun kneeing down these minion waves, and Elise not going to be finding any joy because he's not going to push any further forward. I'll trade some summoner spells, and let's have a look at this one again. Yeah. Watch the sadness.
He comes right over with the blasting cone directly into the brush. And Bono, he's just not even playing around it. And then right there, Clid ends up winning the smite fight, but just barely misses out.
That was so close. Sad stuff. Here, bottom side of the map, though, it's good news for Hanwha Life, as Sangyun and Key keeping very even with Teddy and Marta down here. Of course, Kleptomancy will give Teddy a slight lead when it comes to gold. But right now, they're just doing their very best to deny these minions, and Teddy does so with his face. And he's going to even things out very nicely. Trolls Khan with the blast cone. But Khan's been having a pretty good time. up here on the Aatrox. We have to remember back to the fact that he picked up that Aatrox and got highest damage in the game by an extraordinarily large margin in one of his more recent performances, but I believe that was in a patch gone by.
I also have to say that I think that the Kennen is a testament to Korea is starting to lose creativity with what picks are going to be picked up, because Riot, for the last few patches, they're only continuing to gut champions. And it's leaving the remaining pool very weak and vulnerable. And usually when that happens, the stat checkers start to re-enter into the meta. So you start seeing Orianna return to mid lane, Syndra, LeBlanc, asking, can anyone actually stand up to us?
Whoa, that's a flash cocoon. Lehen style on the top side. They may still just get this kill as a repel. He's going to stay in the sky for a very long time and decides to go back. As Khan does have the world ender and picks up the first blood. Doesn't even need to revive as he has to flash in the end because turret aggro reset it. It's a bit frustrating. But trading a flash on the top side, 2 flashes I guess for 1, but still getting first blood. It's okay.
He could have just gone over to the right-hand side. Let's take another quick look at the replay. So flash cocoon doesn't end up connecting, and Thal right there with the slicing maelstrom. I actually thought maybe he would be able to get away, but not quite, as Aatrox would have been able to reach. And then right there, yeah, we saw the aggro. Yeah, cut it.
Cut the video. Cut the video. Nothing more to see here.
This camera guy is an SKT fan.
Yeah, damn right he is. Perfect. Perfect stuff. That's how we do.
That's some bias if I've ever seen it. And look at Elisa's playstyle. This is the thing I was talking about. She favors rubber banding in order to get her experience from the camps. She's not a jungler that wants to constantly be farming camps.
That's the cocoon. Lands it this time. And yep, Umbral Dash gets Khan in range. That's a free one. Teleporting back to lane feels real bad as Mata here in the mid lane to protect FLICKR. And that's a pause to ask why the Tahm Kench was actually there. Guys, it's not fair.
Yep.
All right. Not entirely sure what's gone wrong here.
Well, let's...
Ooh, it might be FLICKR that had a little bit of an issue.
FLICKR...
Not sure what it was. We will get an update, guys, and we'll keep you posted on why this one has been paused. A little bit of an incredulous look on Mata's face, so maybe Mata says, oh, just deal with it, mate. He's not Australian. He's Korean, but I'd assume he'd say it's something like that, but the Korean version.
Yep. And the thing I was just talking about with Elise is she's not a power farmer.
Nope.
She does not run around and do all of the camps like golems and wraiths and wolves and grop. And what she can instead do is, because she's so powerful with just her base abilities and a lack of reliance on items, she can just choose to farm 1 or 2 camps and then spend a lot of time on the map waiting for those camps to respawn at a higher level, which then causes her to get bonus experience when consuming the camp, and that's what rubber banding is. And she makes use of this, like a few other junglers in the game, very, very, very well. And it makes it so that even if she only has 1 item, she's so effective at applying so much pressure on the map that when her laners have priority, she's a menace.
Yeah, absolutely. And, of course, an Elise gank is a terrifying thing to deal with in the early stages of the game. So making it work very, very well so far is the old Clid. We'll see whether he actually heads back to top lane, because at the moment it feels like that one's a wash. That one's done. Go to the next one and see whether you can win that by yourself as well, because punishing Bono in his own jungle, then grabbing first blood, then getting a return kill, I mean, that's about what you want from a pressure jungler like that. And we do have word. It's a slight issue with FLICKR's headset, and apparently he doesn't need a headset because we're back in the game.
Well, this is a replay.
Oh, it's a replay. Got it. I was going to say, whoa, we fixed it instantly.
Yeah. I know we have been here today where we've seen insanity repeat itself many, many times, but...
You can't blame me, can you?
Like right here, for instance, if Khan just doesn't push the wave, it comes into him, and then Elise can gank again immediately after red, but I do think I saw him casting Q on the wave, so I'm about to lose my mind. I swear to God. Oh, man.
If only LS was a coach for every team. They'd all be doing push-ups after the game, I swear to God. Well, Hanwha just sitting patiently. Looks like we're almost ready to get back into this game. Headset issues are ones that can be resolved relatively quickly. But giving FLICKR the ability to communicate with his teammates is certainly something that you need to do. Because him and Mata are certainly very vocal on this SKT squad. And hoping to get him back in there. We'll see whether there are going to be any train driver plays, because level 6s have been hit in the mid lane. I believe Tempt is level 7, a level ahead as the wave is heading towards FLICKR's turret, so he must be pretty close himself. Mid lane, not exactly going to be a very interesting topic to talk about, though. Sion versus Urgot. You guys know all about it. It is non-interactive and tanky, and we'll see who can actually utilize their kits better as this game moves on. But having a champion like Sion or, for example, Galio for FLICKR, I think is very, very important. So this is another champion that works very similar to Galio in the fact that you can just hang out with your team and start team fights at the right times, and it works pretty well. But we're going to have a look at this highlight once again, as I'm actually a little bit upset about it because it's just so frustrating. He's...
almost.
And then we make sure we get the missed flash cocoon.
Yep, the missed flash cocoon.
In fact, like, both of these flashes are almost unnecessary.
Well,
Tal dies, and then Khan decides he'll come back.
Yep.
And I guess you could understand, maybe there wasn't vision of where Urgot was at that particular point in time, so he felt like he couldn't actually go through the enemy jungle. Might be a way of thinking about it.
Yep, for sure. And then right here, he shouldn't push the wave at all. But, I mean, maybe he didn't. We'll see when the game resumes.
Yeah,
because find out next episode.
Once again, we cut the video. We are going to resume it, though.
Twitch, aren't they competitors?
I don't know. I guess they just want to broadcast on as many things as possible.
Oh.
Yeah. Game is resuming, guys, so 4 seconds to go, and then we're going to see the supports and mid laners facing off against one another.
Let me see top lane.
Is he pushing the way? I think he's pushing the way.
I am about to have an aneurysm. Let me let me see the mini map. Move that. He is. He's pushing, isn't he?
I believe. I mean, if it's an Aatrox pushing, generally it'd be pushing a little bit quicker than this.
I'm actually furious right now. He did shove.
Yeah, he did.
Well,
in fact, he didn't shove fast enough, and the wave didn't crash at the right place.
So, I mean, you can imagine right here where Elise just ate her red. She's on the Wraith camp. She's going to regenerate a lot of mana wall inside of her jungle. And if the wave's in front of Khan's turret and Thal doesn't have a flash, you know he has no vision of River because Lee Sin couldn't have been there. Urgot's been tied up in mid lane. You had 2 control wards covering all of this vision. You could have just easily ganked him again. But no, who wants to create a 3-level gap in top lane? Certainly not SK Telecom.
Well, you know what the terrifying thing is? Tal is actually respecting that as a possibility. So he loses this entire minion wave, thinking that there's probably an Elise waiting in the wings.
And it could be even worse than this. And so it's so surprising not to see SK Telecom take advantage of this opportunity. And some people watching might be wondering, well, don't you want to get the plates? No.
It could be a next level. Because Khan was playing as if he had an Elise, which gave Elise time to full clear top side of her jungle.
There you go.
Hey, there we go. Maybe, like, you know, sometimes you got to one-up. There's only so many times you can play rock, paper, scissors and just do rock.
But would you rather have 150 or 50-0?
I don't know.
All right. You know what?
Yeah.
Do you like rock, paper, scissors?
No, not really.
All right.
I always lose. I just feel like rock is the best one. So as soon as people start papering me, I'm screwed.
Papering.
Yeah. Just don't be papering. Just use the scissors. They're the sharp one.
All right.
What would you want in a fight? Scissors, a rock, or some paper? Definitely not paper. So why would anyone pick it?
Nice line. Can't argue with that.
Yeah. That's logic right there. And now everyone knows how to beat me in rock, paper, scissors, apparently. Bono going to clear out his jungle as well. He's going to be fine. That means that knowledge of his whereabouts will provide SKT with a Mountain Drake, as Temp is pretty good at disdaining FLICKR's decimating smashes. But Bono just going to beeline to this Drake, which means that Clid's not going to be able to take it for free, but look at this, waiting for the cocoon. It's not quite the extended range, so isn't going to find that one. But I tell you what, as far as getting free lane is concerned, Khan pretty happy with his situation.
Oh, top lane's over.
Yeah.
It's completely over. Mercury Tread's already complete, 20% CDR on that Aatrox.
Wow. Ouch.
Yeah. This game is very over, at least in the top department. I like what Khan's doing. He shoved in the top wave, looks to try to make a roam perhaps into mid, just to apply Fog of War pressure, see if there's any vision around there, and perhaps clear it out.
Gonna get some knockups here onto Tal as well, who's infernally chained, but not gonna get whipped back. FLICKR coming on down. They do want to start this Drake, but it's a lot of times aggroed, and Clid still hasn't committed to it. Iceborne Gauntlet completed for Teddy as Bono wanted to come on over. That's another disdain, but somehow that Q misses, and the ultimate will spell the escape for FLICKR. Would have been a very different story had that Sonic Wave actually hit it. It didn't.
What if Galio is just Scion with armor on? You ever thought about that?
They could exist in the same universe, if you think about it. You know, you've got a Galio who's a gargoyle.
Yeah.
And you've got Scion who's like Frankenstein.
Right.
So like in that sort of era of like,
what if it's like Full Metal Alchemist? What if Scion was Galio and then he got
rebuilt.
turned into a gargoyle?
Ooh, oh, maybe. You want to rewrite some lore? We already had all of our sweet Marvel skin ideas.
That was true.
Get more out of us.
That was true. Hulkbuster Galio needs to happen.
Yeah, that's real cool. All right, we're gonna have to might pay for some royalties on that one, but we'll see how we do. Khan continues to shove things out topside. 2-0-0 for him. He's got the only bounty of the team on his side. FLICKR is building a lot of armor. He's got about as much of it as he'd want. Warden's Mail as well as his Ninja Tabi. And now I think going to build towards the Righteous Glory as he's got 2 different colored rocks in his back pocket. But coming on over, I wonder whether there's going to be a bit of a battle here, but nope. No. He just takes down the Rift Scuttler. Everything's fine. Khan just looking for something to do in the river. And Rift Herald could be the option as, oh my goodness. It's a tale of missed repels today.
But I like the idea. What he's trying to do there is, maybe they're aware that there's the ward inside of the brush, and so that actually could be giving false security to Hanwha Life. And then they just think, well, they're not on the Rift Herald.
Well, FLICKR just exhausted Tempt. And didn't quite work out. He'd already teleported back to base, but now we'll have the flash available. That's the ultimate. Flash immediately from Teddy. A lot of respect given here by SKT, but Mata still not out of the woods yet. Unbreakable is going to wear off at exactly the wrong time for Hanwha as Clid. Comes on down, Bono here for the counter gank. But SKT, they sacrifice a lot from Mata, but Teddy's still very healthy.
Yep. And now with the Mountain Drake alive and well, teleport is available on Songyun though, so even though Braum is missing a bit of HP and some mana, it's not the end of the world. Should still definitely be able to deny the capture of that Mountain Drake. And now Khan, this is the problem when you get an advantage in top lane, but then it just sort of locks because you can't actually kill the opponent. And it just makes you ponder, why am I not freezing the lane? Why am I not setting it up for the jungler? But instead, I mean, all right, he gets himself another plate.
Almost.
Yep.
He's got to get this one in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Time's ticking down.
Now it's almost, all right, it's almost over. They have a plate down in bottom. Mid lane, we're not even going to talk about it. I hope the balance team's watching this, because that needs to go.
Well, thankfully Khan does get it. He had an extra 14 seconds on that one as well. Ooh, can we get another one down here on the bottom side? The answer is no. True Shot Barrage going to be collected by the Unbreakable. Bono standing just outside of vision as we go back to watching 2 big guys beating the heck out of each other. And here's a teleport. Mata gonna get the Devour and the Flash. Good slowdown here from the Iceborne Gauntlet. The teleport back as Tal gonna get the ultimate. That's a lot of ticks, and Teddy instantly dies. Khan wondering what the heck he's doing down here because there's a double kill going on around him.
Yeah, and in the meanwhile, Elise is looking to capture the Rift Herald, but that was a really nice setup by Hanwha. Bono knowing that Teddy didn't have the Flash available, and a very delayed teleport from Khan. Not that it mattered all that much. In fact, probably should have just stayed top lane, but at least by being bottom, it dissuades Hanwha Life from trying to get the bottom tier 1 turret and then also capturing the Mountain Drake. But very surprised to see they didn't at least get the Mountain Drake.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a switch up here as Rift Herald does go down. Teddy going to be moving up towards the top side using his teleport, and we'll have a minion wave crash towards that turret. But let's have a look at this one again. Mata does about everything that he can to avoid this, but the Q lands this time, and Bono gets the flash kick onto Teddy.
And Mata, to his credit, I mean, he maximizes the usage of his gray health, and watch Khan move in front of the Proto Belt, blocking it, but doesn't matter. Thal's still able to get a kill there.
That's the ultimate actually coming down from Key, and Clid secures the kill in the end, but Teddy, that was all about you, my friend. Beautiful play. Here's FLICKR versus Tempt again. I feel like we come back to what is theoretically a fight in the mid lane after every fight, and I keep getting excited, but it's just nothing's ever going to happen. It's clearly going to steal away a blue buff, eventually.
Well, they are looking to get the blue. They still have the Rift Herald, and Hanwha Life's mid-tier 1 turret is still extremely healthy. So what I would like to see is SKT get the Mountain Drake first, then look to utilize the Rift Herald after you've recalled and spent your 1,000+ gold on several champions. But no, instead, I'm going to summon it right now. They're going to get that mid-tier 1, and then maybe try to use the Mountain Drake as the next main focal point fight.
Yeah, and they are going to get themselves a lot more lane priority, I guess, or at least map priority. That's a good knock up there from FLICKR. They just get a free Braum, take down the turret. Bono's one hit away from dead as the flash forward. Decimating smash from FLICKR. That looked too good as Sungyun's going to die as well. Tempt looking on his horror as everyone died. And SKT, man, that's what you want out of FLICKR in the mid lane, even on the Scion.
Yeah, and they're just doing a fantastic job of making these kills happen. And Hanwha Life just getting completely eviscerated in this series here. It's not even 17 minutes yet. We're about to have a 7K gold lead potentially, and a Mountain Drake on the side of SK Telecom.
Yeah, once again.
This game is looking very similar to game number 1 in the sense that looking quite over. Mountain Drake to boot. We'll see what the second spawn is. Obviously, SK Telecom probably praying for another Mountain. Get on an Infernal. Can't complain about that.
Nope. That's a pretty good one. As I don't know how they've been able to orchestrate all of these different catches, but the Unbreakable falls down, and Key, ultimate or no, is just going to die. The Arcane Shift and then weaving in that Mystic Shot was so clean from Teddy.
Take a look at this right here. FLICKR using that ultimate, just getting in there. He knew, I have Tahm Kench, you can't actually kill me. Flashes right back in, gets the knock-up. And then Teddy able to finalize the kill onto Songyun. They get a lot of chip damage on that mid-tier 2 turret.
Yeah, and FLICKR getting spat out of Marta's mouth and then flashing into that decimating smash looked really cool. And just wasn't expected by Hanwha Life, and they were on the retreat and just all died for it.
Yep.
So what advantage had actually come from Tal on the bottom side of the map? Those 2 kills where it looked like Hanwha were going to be able to find their way back in. Just wasn't enough. And SKT take it all back again. And now this gold is looking ridiculous. Lost chapter again. Completed by Teddy. Just Arcane shifting forward.
And here's the other problem is you look at the itemization out of everyone. Kai'Sa, no MR. Braum, no magic resistance. Lee Sin has Merc Treads, but take a look at...
life.
Yeah.
No, he's going to be okay. World Ender is going to be popped here, and Khan probably shouldn't be going that aggressive. The teleport going to come in, and FLICKR protecting his top laner. Oh, okay.
Oh, he got it canceled. I'm like, wait a minute.
That's an interesting one, but Tal's just going to go down. Cancel does come in, I believe, from Tempt on the bottom side.
Yep. To
stop the Scion from entering the fight. And Teddy and Marta, they come in instead and finish things up.
And now the mid-tier 2 turret surely going to fall here.
All right, there's the train. Unbreakable. Not going to be enough to get rid of that damage as Songyun has to get the hell out of there with his ultimate True Shot Barrage. Picks off the Kai'Sa. They're in a choke point. Teddy having a field day on the Ezreal. Really nice aim, and they'll take 2 inner turrets. It looks like SKT has Baron right now without even having the Baron.
Yeah, this game is completely turning on its head. And this is what you would like to see with these kinds of gold leads and what you would expect out of a team of this caliber.
Yeah.
And, you know, coming into the series tonight, we were talking about, well, who's the 3rd best team in Korea? Don't let the standings deceive you. SK Telecom does look a lot cleaner than Kingzone.
Oh, absolutely. Well, this is what we wanted from Kingzone to prove to us that they deserve the position that they had on the standings, because it was 3-2-0 victories in a row. And then the fiesta that we had versus Gen.G earlier, this is the SKT that we came to expect from the Kesper Cup.
Right. And right here, even though Bono was here and they were able to get Aatrox's passive, they're respecting the teleport, but a bit of miscommunication, because you have to assume that Tempt is saying, I can cancel it, I can cancel it.
Yeah.
And I don't know what they're talking about right now.
And this is a Hanwha squad that has been good at communication, that has been able to be better than the sum of their parts, as we've said multiple times on this broadcast. The True Shot Barrage, all too easy for Teddy to grab that kill. Hit 4 people with it, though. Didn't need to do it that well. Just needed to hit the old Kai'Sa.
Almost 10k gold lead now. Infernal Dragon coming up in a minute and a half. And the thing I was commenting on earlier, look at Lee Sin's magic resistance. He has 67. Kennen has 34. I believe Kaisa has 34. This means that Elise, with the Oblivion Orb and Sorkpan boots, she's dealing true damage to these champions. It is such a problem for Hanwha Life to try to teamfight because without Songyun, Thal has to go in to the middle of a Sion, Aatrox, Tahm Kench. He's going to go down. So then where do you get your damage? Certainly not from this gimped Urgot in mid lane.
Nope. And Urgot not necessarily known for doing a massive amount of damage anyway. They need Songyun to be able to perform. They need Thal to be able to be feared on the flanks. But right now, the Kennen comes in. They just don't care. What? Like, Marta will probably just eat him.
Right.
Or Fake is just going to knock him up, and there's nothing that can happen. Yeah, exactly. And Marta has taken the exhaust on this Guardian Tahm Kench. And Faker not respecting the Kennen damage at all. And why would he?
And this is also another thing with Kennen, is these champions that they have to get ahead or they have to have dream scenarios.
Songyun actually going to dive on forward. Killer Instinct just going to eat the shield, but Faker used his ultimate there. Looked like it was in a weird direction, but nothing's going to come of it. As there's the flash in. Tal wants to find it, but Teddy in the right position. True Shot Barrage means that Tal just does absolutely no damage and dies basically instantly. That was what Hanwha wanted, and now they're going to find everything. The knockups, the decimating smash, the Q coming in from the Aatrox, and Khan helps just wipe the floor with Hanwha Life. Abyssal Voyage means they're not done yet. Key going to go down, Infernal Chain's not going to arm, but Tempt is dead on the bottom side, and SKT are looking for a clean ace at 22 minutes with a broken base already.
Yeah, I actually think this is the game because Faker, even if they kill him, Sion passive is able to persist on, but the members coming up, I mean, you have Thal, but he doesn't have his ultimate available. There's a sizable minion wave demolish on some of these champions.
Yep, we are going to stack up these demolish procs, but look, both Nexus turrets dying at about the same time. 5 members of SKT closing in on this Nexus.
Okay.
They are going to back away as Tal doesn't have Slicing Maelstrom. SKT, they are going to back away from this one. Q just going to go completely wide from Bono. Unfortunate. Maybe was expecting an arcane shift in a weird direction or something like that. SKT will go back. They've broken open the base. And there's no more Nexus turrets remaining.
Yeah, and so the mid inhibitor is now a legitimate, very scary threat. We're taking a look at the team fight. Just like we talked about, Exhaust goes down instantly on this champion that has to dive the backline. Doesn't matter if you dive the backline, you don't have any damage. And then Aatrox telling them they all done goofed as he reaches the backline with ease, and it just doesn't matter. It was slim pickings for the SK Telecom all-you-can-eat buffet.
And I feel like this is the Aatrox that went to Oshak Hennessy's office and got the advice that he needed, and has come back a new and better Aatrox.
Well, he is definitely present. If you know what I'm talking about. So, Timothy.
Oh man, I love that video. I love that video so much. How about an Infernal Drake? SKT will pick that one up. Looking to go to the Baron next. You can see the on the way pings. There's a lot of vision available for Hanwha Life, but not for long. As I don't even think SKT need to really bother about clearing it out, because who the heck is going to come on in and try and steal anything? Bono put his face near that Baron pit and die instantly.
SK Telecom looking like they have a neat freak OCD type thing. They're so careful with everything that they're doing.
Drilled this into them, drilled it into them over and over again. You saw Khan underneath outer turrets with Exhaust Ignite. As in goes Faker, but he's going to crash into the wall.
Yeah, I don't quite know where that was going. Looking like Blizzard stocks to me.
Train to boost on. So, know what you want. As Faker's just going to try it again without his ultimate this time, as Hanwha Life are in a position to actually get punished by this. Good Unbreakable denies the True Shot Barrage, but there's just too much money on SKT. Tempt has to just see his death, gets knocked up and smacked down by SKT.
And that's going to be the end of the game with Urgot falling. There's no way the Hanwha Life team composition can resist this. Down 15,000 gold in an Infernal.
Yeah, 15,000 gold, but also there's no Nexus turrets here either. Oh, that knock-up onto Songyun was disgusting, as Bono takes half of his health bar just from incidental damage. Hanwha Life, they will try it again with the Slicing Maelstrom. Can they actually get it done? But Khan has the World Ender. They've got the Infernal Chains. They've got Faker in there with the Decimating Smash, and they don't even care about winning the game right now. They want more kills. SKT wants a clean 2-0, and man, it doesn't come much cleaner than that, bar maybe a weird face check and this dance on the enemy fountain. SKT feels like they're back, but we'll have to see against some different opposition.
Yeah. And tonight's series, very, very decisive in one-sided.
Yeah.
Whereas the SK Telecom versus Hanwha Life games tonight, and FLICKR on the Scion actually did quite a considerable amount of work, and it's such an interesting dynamic. He's playing these tanks and these engagey champions because he actually has teammates this year. So
he does. And also, we saw like those plays with like the FLICKR evolved, that flash decimating smash right on the edge, getting the knock up that allowed them to snowball through the mid lane so much more effectively. This felt like a FLICKR on, you know, years gone past form rather than the form that we've been seeing in some of these games, especially against Sandbox and Griffin. But man, this is what we wanted from this team. That is what pedigree like this is supposed to net you as this SKT squad. And man, Hanwha, they look like they've been beaten around the rift.
They look like they don't know what just hit them.
Yeah, so thankfully they've got a week to get over it because it is, of course, the Lunar New Year. So we will have a week off before we come back on the 13th to Silas being available, which is going to be interesting. Already seen it in a couple of other regions.
Zeppa looked really happy right there. His eyes lit up. And you see, he was like, FLICKR, did you see we just won with Atrox? And Galio?
Yeah, no. He's like, see, we put you on a tank and then we won, FLICKR, so it's okay. You don't need to play fun champions. And FLICKR's like, yeah, well, you could have given me the Atrox this game.
Yeah.
You jerk.
Well,
I still want to see it. I watch FLICKR stream all the time. He's really good at Atrox.
Yep.
Oh,
so,
man.
Well, overall, a very clean series. I mean, there's really not all that much to talk about regarding it, though.
No, it felt pretty, like, clear-cut. But I guess what we need to talk about is the fact that Hanwha Life shouldn't necessarily be considered this team that's bottom of the pack, right? They are, as the Koreans would say, in the Western Division. You guys have all seen the LCK Castle video parody at the beginning. It does feel like the top versus the bottom this season, and that's what the Koreans are sort of coining it as. And Hanwha are still theoretically up there. They just haven't been able to find the more recent victories here on their side. The Jin Air Green Wings 2-0 came after losing to both Sandbox and Griffin. And now SKT are putting themselves above Hanwha in those standings.
And SK Telecom are definitely looking like they are getting better, but like you said, gonna have to see how that works against better opposition.
Yeah, exactly right. So now SKT, they've lost against Griffin and Sandbox. Hanwha Life have lost against Griffin, Sandbox, and now SKT. So it does feel like Hanwha are one of these teams that does gatekeep teams out of the bottom half and out of the top half, and we're still not through the first round robin just yet. So once we are through that, Hanwha will give us an idea of where middle of the pack actually is, because they have been consistently able to beat teams lesser than them, but not able to beat teams that are clearly above them, right? They're not the surprise victory, guys. So we check out some of these highlights. Clid misses the first flash cocoon, but if you at first don't succeed, try again.
Yeah, and they were able to kill him here, and all it took was those 2 ganks to flip top all the way around.
Yeah.
And then this was also another key moment. FLICKR gets the knock-up, ultimate combo right into Key. Bust through the door, told him he doesn't need a key.
Exactly, and gets spat out instantly. Straight on top of Bono, while Shelly's getting her work done on the turret, and Sangyun was an afterthought kill.
Well, highlights, I mean, they're pretty straightforward. Right here, though, this was definitely the miscommunication. Look at Urgot in the minimap on the bottom right. FLICKR's channeling teleport. You know Tempt must be saying, I can cancel, and they don't push on to kill Atrox, and really unfortunate.
Instead, they lose Tal for free.
Instead, they lose Tal for free. They could have drawn Tahm Kench and Ezreal way further up. That was a pin if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, not a lot of good options that Key had just there. Is all too easy. True Shot Barrage, I think we could say, does too much damage.
And right here, you can just see the underwhelmingness of a Kennen that is not grossly ahead of his opposition, also getting exhausted to boot. And this is a issue with the Korean meta, is sometimes when things just stop working, they go back to old things, even though those old things were hit with nerfs, and nothing's changed to suddenly make them good. Whereas champions like Orianna or like Syndra or these other champions I mentioned earlier in the cast, the stat checkers, they don't really just get touched, they just sort of pull out of the meta because other things get better.
Yeah,
but these champions, they fell out for reasons. They didn't just start to disappear because other champions were simply stronger, and so it's very bizarre to see teams starting to try to pick things like this back up, and it's very peculiar.
Yeah, it's odd, but, you know, it did work, especially for SKT. In this game, the Aatrox got spoon-fed by an Elise, and was then the Aatrox that we know and love in the later stages, because you add an extra, you know, 1,500 gold, the slight nerfs to those damage numbers mean basically nothing when your wallet makes up for the rest of it. So SKT still piloting maybe some older picks, but they check out, so it's okay. It's okay. And look, it's much more than okay coming off that loss to Sandbox followed by the loss to Griffin, because I know a lot of people were probably losing faith in SKT, because we had a look at the poll that Papa Smithy put out before that Griffin game versus SKT. It was overwhelmingly Griffin favored. Yeah. And we know how many fans there are for SKT. We know you guys in Twitch chat, there's a lot of people that are still rooting for SKT, and this is the kind of team that you want to be getting behind. This kind of team that makes League of Legends look clean. And on the back of Clid, looking really good today.
The MVP has to be Clid here. I know that people watching the game are like, wow, FLICKR had these impressive ultimates, these knockups, yada, yada, yada. Well, Clid deleted Lee Sin from the game. Thank you.
Yep.
Faith in humanity restored yet again.
We're having a good one here. They just didn't want you to leave. They didn't want you to leave at the end of the game. So we're okay. We're okay.
So Clid got it again. He got the ball rolling everywhere. Deleted Thal from the game. Deleted Bono. And just made it so that his laners, they got to play in straight-up matchups, except they also had a jungler when the enemy team didn't. So yes, FLICKR had really nice ultimates. He had great knockups, and a lot of people might be like this. Yeah, this whole thing. FLICKR's doing really good. It got to this point because of Clid on that Elise.
Yeah, and even seeing that cocoon just there, right in the middle of the chaos, didn't matter. Was able to land it onto Sangyun, the priority target, and that was probably the most irrelevant Kai'Sa that I have ever seen so far in the LCK. A lot of the time, Kai'Sa is picked and then just somehow manages to find, you know, one team fight here, even if they lose. But that time around, Sangyun basically just died incidentally to true shot barrages and things like that. Like stray CC flying around. But guys, Clid is standing alongside, so let's throw it over to Jason for the interview translation.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Jason with today's last interview translation, and we're going to be joined by Clid, his solo interview here at the interview stage. All votes went for you, Clid, today. How do you feel? So yeah, this was the last game for the first round robin, and also before the long holiday break, so I really wanted this win. Teddy is not joining with you for the MVP interview. Is there a message for him? I hope you don't die next game, and let's get MVPs together. Game 1, Lee Sin was really impressive. There were a lot of ganks from you, so how do you rate Lee Sin as a champion currently? It doesn't have a specific counter, and also if you're confident with playing in it, I think it's a really nice champion right now. There were a lot of ganks in the bot lane especially. So the first gang here, you're avoiding the vision of the opponent, so whose call was that? Mara told me in advance that the opponent can be here, so I actually expected there could be a ward, but yeah, we were lucky to pull that up and make a kill over there. Ult Flash, were you confident enough? Yeah, I always have confidence, and I calculated all the things over there. So after those two ganks in bot lane kind of turned the game to SK Telecom's side. So were you having a confidence that you're going to close out the game easily? Yeah, when the Baron popped up, I had the confidence that we were really in a lead and we will be able to close out the game. And Khan played Akali for the first time. What kind of strategy was going on over there? All the players in our team can play all the different champions currently, and especially Akali is a really good champion in the current meta, so that's why we went with top Akali today.
했었는데 오늘 칸 선수가 아칼리를 들고 나왔습니다. 자, 2세트 얘기를 해보겠습니다.
And let's move on to game 2.
엄청나게 초반부터 많은 갱킹을 시도했습니다.
There are a lot of ganks in the early game.
팀을 내가 좀 풀어줘야겠다 이런 각오를 하고 나오셨나요?
Were you trying to carry the game on your own? In the Griffin series last time, we were really really looking very bad, and we were kind of got the one-sided defeat. So I really wanted to show better performance today. Game 2, there were a lot of ganks in the top lane, mostly. 2 ganks in a row. You were hiding in the brush. We expected the both top laners to use the TP, so yeah, things went well as I planned. What are your thoughts about the list right now? I play all the champions with enough confidence, and also I'm feeling comfortable with playing any different kind of champions. Is there any tips for landing your cocoons? You have to see how the opponents are dodging the skill, how they sidestep before you use your skill. Who's your personal MVP for today's series? Mara wasn't really feeling well today, but he gave us a lot of shot calls and a lot of decisions, so I think he deserves the MVP as well. Well, he has a stomach ache a little bit. He's not feeling well. I hope he gets well soon. So this was the last series before the long holiday break. And your next opponent will be Kingzone Dragon X. We have to find out who's going to be the third place here. Well, Kingzone is surely in a really good rhythm and form, so but we still can, I think we can really do well if we just get rid of our mistakes, so I believe we can pick up great results. And you are part of the C family from the jungle in the Cloud Templar, Clid. You see Cloud Templar over there? Well, I really like Cloud Templar. I feel really honored to be called as a C family. I'm really thankful for that comment. So congratulations on your win today, and hope you have a really good rest during the break. Let's say goodbye to the fans. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Ji-sun, for the interview translation. Great to hear from Clid. And I'm glad that Cloud Templar acknowledges him in his camp as well. That was adorable. When the Korean cast came up on screen, I'm like, oh no, we're supposed to be ready, but actually that was part of the interview process.
Family?
Yeah, the C family, because their names start with the same sound, I guess.
Can I be part of the C family? I'm a content creator, caster, coach.
Oh, yes you can. I was like, your name's Nick. So no. Like, that's what I was going to say. I mean, I can't, because my name's Max. All right, let's bring it back to the League of Legends, guys. We have a look at the standings at the end of Week 3. SKT do manage to solidify their spot in third place with that 2-0 victory, but only 4-2 means that Griffin and Sandbox well and truly out in front. If teams have lost, it is generally against both of these teams. And Griffin getting the better of Sandbox in the last matchup, 2-1. So the western side, Hanwha Life are still there. Kingzone still there after their 2-1 victory that they shakily got today. But we'll be back on the 13th of February. Hanwha Life versus Gen G, and then SKT versus Kingzone, which is all of a sudden very, very interesting. And after a long break like this, let's hope the Kingzone can get their mental back into gear so that we don't see what we saw from them against Gen G.
Yep, and I mean, SK Telecom, they are looking like the third best team in Korea right now. Sandbox, still second. Griffin, I mean, they did drop one game, but they are still looking like a machine.
They are, and they've still got to go up against KT and a FLICKR Freaks. Two teams that most of our, Western side, as the Koreans would say, have had pretty comfortable victories against. But there's a chance that these teams can offer some, I guess, upsets. We'll have to see what happens, guys. Happy Lunar New Year to everyone. Thank you so much for watching for the first 3 weeks. And we're going to go put our heels up, and we will be back for more sweet LCK action on the 13th of February when Silas will be available. So guys, we'll see you back then. Have a good week away. We'll see you after.
All right.
You take me higher when I feel low. Make my world brighter when I'm alone. I keep on rolling, all with your fuel. You're like my gasoline that makes my dream come true. 'Cause this is the beginning. Together we'll be winning. With you I'm a savage. Make myself a ceiling. 'Cause with you I'm feeling feather-light. Light like a feather, white like the wind. I fly together to where we've never been. You taught me